So I'm back for part 2. We're at the top of the hill. I have all of my kids in the car. And so the way that our house was is that the driveway, main road was up here, and the driveway would come down, and then the car was parked at the top. So we're in the van. All my kids are safe. And then it kind of hits me. I'm sure it already had hit Blaine. Oh, we have stuff inside this house. What are we doing after we get into this van? So we looked down, kind of down the driveway, and noticed that obviously our other car is down at the bottom of this hill driveway. Try to get that out, and water has already come, pretty high where we can't open the doors. We can't get the car out. Funny thing about that car, actually, the next morning when we went back, we opened the glove box and there was a frog inside the glove box, if that tells you how high the water was. We realized we can't get the second car out, so we understand that this is a wash, pun intended. And the water is starting to get higher. And at this point, I don't really have a memory of how high, but it was starting to come in very quickly. So it's funny, the things that you think, everyone always asks, like, what would you grab if there was a fire? Or, what are the things that are most important? And the only things I remember and it's just funny because you don't think about it. You don't think about it actually happening. You think what you will grab, but then when it actually happens, it's funny. So some funny things is I had been soaking red beans and rice the night before. So those are, still on the counter. So things like that, don't even cross your mind to fix. In my mind, I'm thinking the water is just going to come up a little bit, right? It's coming in and you're thinking it's not going to get very high. So I start putting things, up there. So the only things I remember grabbing was get everybody a pair of clothes. And then this was back when those little Kindles were really popular. So I grabbed all the kids' Kindles. They all had a Kindle. And I remember grabbing my Bible, which I've had since I was in college. Maybe a couple other little dinky things, like enough that we could fill a backpack. We literally get to the van, we get all that, and you're just sitting there thinking, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. It was in the middle of the night. And so we call my husband's parents, who literally lived 3 or 4 minutes from us. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they're flooding also, but we'll call them. So we call them, and their house is totally dry, which was just such a God thing. So we go to their house, and mind you, we had already lived with them for 4 or 5 months before we bought this house. So some of our stuff was even still there, which was God's provision. So we get to their house, and then Blaine kind of went back to see, if we could get anything else. And it was very obvious we could not. So I remember definitely kind of being in shock, right? I called my parents. The kids are just, trying to figure this out. And it's in the middle of the night, so you don't even really know what has happened. You're thinking, okay, I'll go back and some of my stuff will be wet. Obviously, we didn't really sleep that night, and wake up the next morning, and I don't even really feel like we could go back the next morning. We wake up the next morning, this is what happened, and there are still people stuck in their houses. And so immediately Blaine asked me, I need to go help people. So they get a boat, a fishing, like an actual boat that you take out on a lake, get on it and start riding the boat around the city so that they can rescue people. I have friends that were stuck on the second floor of their second-story house. There were people on top of roofs, depends how you say it. There were rescues going all day. So they were literally riding boats over businesses. That's how high the water got on the main roads. So I'm sitting here with my little kids, 2, 4, 6, 8, while my husband's out rescuing people. So in that moment, it was all just kind of a blur, right? You're not thinking clearly I'm like, just go save people, So that whole day was kind of a blur. And then when we go back to bed that night, that's the next day you wake up and you think, oh, did anything that I have survive? So I do remember going back I feel like we took plastic tubs, maybe my father-in-law and I, and we could drive on the main road. So most of the water had receded on the main roads. And so when he and I went back, I have pictures, water was probably up to a little bit past my knees. So it had receded quite a bit. And at that point, very quickly, I realized that the water had gone up to the counters. It had gone over the kitchen table. So anything I thought, like I remember putting drum sets up there, curriculum. I threw a lot of my homeschool curriculum on top of my mattress, and my mattress floated. So there was some curriculum that didn't get wet. Crazy. I will never forget the smell. It's a very, very distinct smell. There were ants everywhere in the water. And a cool thing, someone told me that ants all huddle in like this little ball so that they can survive. So there are these like floating balls of ants just all in the water, them trying to survive. So that day, those days around that were very difficult because you're just pulling everything out of the water, realizing what had been lost. There obviously were funny things. I had a couple packages of diapers that were in the guest room and they all got full of water. So when you walked in, it was just full diapers that were like this big. Each diaper was humongous, full of all brown water, which is something you don't see very often. The beans had all definitely soaked for a good 48 hours. They were nice and ready to be cooked. There were funny things in all of this. So this is us seeing everything the first time. And I will make my next video kind of on the aftermath of what happened. And then I'll probably make another video of the things that God did. So stay tuned.